Rente Padiachi speaking to us there in Johannesburg. Thank you for that. Well, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of business. So the Competition Commission has welcomed a landmark judgment by the Constitutional Court. The matter dates back to 2017 when the Commission and the Competition Tribunal rejected a merger between Mediclinic Southern Africa and Matlosana Medical Health Services.
It will offset some of those higher tariffs with lower prices for surgicals and other consumables. It would not happen to the same extent, so there would still be a price increase. And it wouldn't help the uninsured who don't have medical aids bargaining on their account. So we felt in the context of the constitutional right to healthcare, the high concentration in hospital services, this was going to substantially harm consumers and competition and should be prohibited. But as you indicated, the appeal court took different perspectives, and that's why we took it on appeal to the Constitutional Court, who agreed with us and has now prohibited the merger.
Yeah, this is really part of the. Let's clarify that the merger has been prohibited. Does this give us a step in the right direction as well in how big companies really try to merge and squeeze out some of the small competitors? Does this set a good precedent?
I think it definitely does, and especially in the area of hospitals, where we've seen over the past sort of 20 years a degree of merger creep, where the three big hospital groups gradually acquire one small hospital here and another one there, and it's been quite difficult for the Competition Commission to prohibit some of those, despite trying and being overturned. What I think makes a big difference in this ruling and sets us on a more progressive path in the future is that the Constitutional Court has essentially said we must look at these through the lens of the Bill of Rights and access to healthcare. And in so doing, even small increases in tariff or the affecting of a small group of uninsured patients can be seen as substantial in terms of the constitutional right to healthcare. And that does fundamentally change, I think, the game where we are dealing with sectors of the economy which affect basic human rights in the country. And we can take a more stringent approach just to ensure that especially vulnerable consumers, where even small changes in price can make a massive difference to their ability to access these services, that those don't occur. And I think this is profound from that perspective.
Yeah, do you think that there's an opportunity at all for some of those big role players, specifically in this case, to challenge that ruling, considering that it has gone all the way to the Constitutional Court?
Well, the Concord is our final court of appeal, so there is no scope for that. What I do think these companies need to consider now going forward in merger control is their pricing practices and practices more generally. Because what the Constitutional Court also ruled is that simply by taking over this company, now imposing your tariffs or your practices in how you treat other suppliers or customers will be taken into account in how we assess the impact of a merger. So these hospital groups that do offer quite poor pricing to the uninsured, low discounts compared to most of the independent hospitals, I think if they want to grow in this area now have to seriously reconsider their pricing practices and engage practices that are a lot fairer.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for speaking to us, James. We really do appreciate your time. That is James Hodge from the Competition Commission. We'll move on to other business news. Some good news for international investors.